Welcome to today's live roadmap workshop. Today, we will talk about how to become an educational creator fast. I have a complete training prepared for you, and it also comes with some really cool templates and skills as well. Let me know if you're watching from Grow with Evident, from which country you're watching, what's the time for you right now. And yeah, if you're excited about this workshop, maybe you already have some questions top of mind, then you can share them in the comments. I will go through the training and then always check back with the comments as well. So let's quickly see if we have 17 people watching. That's exciting. Drop me a quick comment. Let me know where you're watching from or who's watching. You can just say me. I know it will be a lot of familiar faces. So I can also pick the examples and everything based on your niche and your communities. Hi, Kai. Nice to see you. Oh, from South Africa. That's beautiful. So cool. I actually didn't know that you're from South Africa. So thank you so much for sharing. Stephanie, ma'am, hello. Thank you for tuning in. Hey. 7 a.m. Okay, that's doable. Thank you for tuning in. I miss Canada. Hi, this is Angela, right? Okay. Hey, hi, Jen. Hey. Is it Mark? Is it Jack? Who is it? Oh, hi, Coach John. How's it going? All right, so I've got a lot to cover. I will come back. Hi, Salima. How's it going? We haven't chatted in a while. Hi, Tanya. Hey, Northern Ireland. That's really cool. My sister worked for a while in Ireland, so I had once the joy to be there. Beautiful. Hey, Mark. Nice to see you. Congratulations on your new community launch. That's so cool. I just joined. All right, so let's dive right into the training. So today, what I'll be covering for you is basically a synthesis of what we've already been doing inside of Growth Evident, but with the new changes to school with Growth Boost. Also looking at the recent challenge I've done for the school positioning, I believe that I can bring it to you in a very up-to-date, hopefully very easy to understand way. And this workshop will then be the foundation for us working through each step inside of Grow with Evelyn. So once the workshop is done, I'll have a beautiful recording. I will be able to make a step-by-step roadmap for you, break it down even further, and help you implement every single step. But of course, first, as always, and I also always hope you're watching these trainings, also learning through the lines of how I'm creating these solutions and these products. I hope that you understand, like, first, before we can actually get people to do something, we have to help them understand the big picture and get them excited and get them to say yes to the journey ahead. And this is what this workshop is about. It is there to give you the big context, as in what the journey to a niche educational creator like I am, for example, looks like, and how we can accelerate it in this new ecosystem on school, but also beyond school, because there's still a couple other platforms and things that we need if we really want to accelerate things. All right, so this is what the workshop is about. I'm going to cover this complete roadmap. Let me just see if I can make this even bigger for you. Maybe if I share it from Canva, I can make it the biggest possible. Okay, this should be better. Just quickly want to check in with you. If you could just let me know in the chat if that view is actually better. Hi, Max. Hello again. We already were on a call today. Indiana. That's beautiful. Oh, Copenhagen. Nice. Hi, from Germany. That's actually very close. Nice to see you. Let's go. Yes. Okay, beautiful. Thank you for confirming. Hi, Elise. You might or might not be in this presentation because you've done some really good work. Looks good. Okay, thank you so much for confirming. Just want to make sure everybody is seeing it well, and then we can jump in and I can present it. Okay, so this is the roadmap that I want to work through with you in this workshop. And it is the roadmap to becoming a niche educational creator fast. We have 3 phases with 3 steps each. If you've been in my world, you know that I kind of like to divide things up like that. We first have to craft the entry point to your world. And ideally, we want to build from selecting an in-demand niche, finding our right positioning in that niche, and then solidifying our space as the first working hypothesis of what our offer and transformation ecosystem should look like. Then, once we have that set up, we can actually go and build the ecosystem. So we're going to build our home base on Skool, add our brand channels with YouTube and Instagram, and then power that traffic engine also with affordable meta ads. And now I know a lot of you are scared. It's like, oh, this is another ad training. This is not another ad training. You do not have to always use ads to grow. You can use it at spots in your journey to get very, very specific data, validate if you are on the right track, and really get a blueprint for what you should be doing. And then you can decide if you want to leverage them or not. So they're really just here for us to get us over certain humps in the journey that often we either need years to figure out or aren't able to figure out at all. So we're using them very much to give us a quick boost over certain humps that unfortunately let a lot of us die in front of those humps. And then if, of course, they're working for us and we are able to master them, we integrate them as an ongoing chat back in the business, but it's not necessary. Okay, this is also something that a lot of our members do with organic content only, because it can also be done with organic content only once you have the right positioning. And then the third phase is to walk the system. And this is where you increasingly become the person that holds the ecosystem from a positioning perspective as well as from a transformation perspective. And you document that journey and you turn that into content and quick resources. And then the experience you gather, you learn to extract that from yourself and build more sophisticated offers around that. And then ultimately, you're evolving your setup into a scalable, proven online education offer, and you scale it from there. So those are the steps that we're going through, and I'm going to walk you through each of them now in this workshop, and I'm going to point you to the right resources to implement these things. All right, so we're going to start here with the entry point and first look at the first phase. Let's talk about the niche selection and positioning. This is really the most important thing, as we're finding out with Growth Boost right now. You don't have to have all pieces in place to be able to grow really quickly when your offer is right. So I quickly want to jump out of this and give the best case study for this currently on the platform. And there's more that I see based on running Growth Boost, but this one is also one that Sam confirmed officially on Skool News, which is why I dare to share more about it. Here with this gentleman, we've seen it. He basically had 0 audience. With Growth Boost, he has gone from 0 audience to basically 100 members within a week. And now he's at 372 members. So he even on a podcast interview with Matthew Thompson, if you've not seen it, I think it's really worth checking out on YouTube for Skool News. Oh, this is not Skool News. This might be a different Skool News. So, Skool Stories, sorry. So this interview here, definitely worth checking out to kind of get the big picture. He even shared here that he's building things out as he goes, right? So he really had the bold idea, packaged it, and that allowed him to take off and establish himself as a niche creator super, super quickly and grow to a very good point. So he's a really, really beautiful example of why this initial phase is so important and how the positioning and the niche selection and the positioning in it can, it's like if you have this, you're like on a bike downhill. If this is not optimized or you don't have this at all, you're uphill, and it's just so much harder to make it work because, you know, creating demand, which is something I'm seeing right now with Skool, we are in demand creation, we're market making. This is so hard. It requires so many resources. You as the single human being don't have that. So you want to lean into something that already has existing demand. Now, how do we do this? I've brought you a few examples here. So first thing, we want to be like, what's the broad niche that I can operate in? So the very best setup is when you have a rare skill set and experience, and that meets demand. So I want to show you this one here, also one that we see working quite well. This is the Sync Producer Hub. He helps people make money placing their music on TV and film, learn how to produce, prepare, and pitch music that gets placed. So the opportunity here is that musicians can build a royalty income from their work. And this community owner has this talent for music, the passion for it, the years experience making music, and then he has this unique life experience of knowing exactly the ins and out about this industry, right? This, what he can offer and teach, is not something that you could ever learn. Just let me, I'm always scared I don't share my screen. Okay. But I do. Sorry. This is not something that you can ever learn from an AI. This is not something you can Google. This is not something Perplexity can synthesize, right? Because there's so many unique things coming together for him to be able to share this experience and this skill set and this industry specific know-how with people. This is like a holy grail kind of setup, because also this is so hard to copy, right? This is beautiful. If you have a talent and you've developed that talent into a skill set and you have unique experience in an industry, and it's something that makes people healthier, wealthier, or have better relationships, mostly this is romantically, then this is the first niche that I would be focusing on. And here, even if there's no other communities doing that, if it's healthier, wealthier, or better relationships in the sense of love, sex, marriage, right? You're probably onto something, and that is the starting point where you want to go, right? What you can also do is tweak what you already have. So we have the beautiful Elise on the call, one of my favorite Grow with Evelyn members. She is a funnel expert copywriter, many years helping people, particularly coaches online. And now she saw that there is rising demand for Claude, right? So smart Elise did what? She combined a skill set she already had that is already valuable, but is only somewhat product to market fit and has a lot of competition. She edged it on with something else where she has sufficient knowledge to make this better. And boom, together, right? She's now trending on the school pages, and you can just see the momentum rising. So really also a good idea is to go and say, I do have a super decent skill set, right? Or I have an area where I have experience from my work, for example, and now I want to edge it on with something that is right now rising in demand and I can learn relatively quickly. So also a really good idea is to say you tweak what you have towards product to market fit. And that also allows you to, and I'm not saying this about Elise because I've seen her work and she is truly already up here as an expert, but if there was somebody who had less experience, right, and they were just getting started, by edging it on and making it more niche, they're still becoming a specialist more quickly, and it actually allows them to increase their perceived value as an educational creator. So, if I was right now just starting out helping coaches, creators with ads, I'd probably not say, oh, I help you like with ads for personal brands and online educators and educational creators and membership owners and coaches. What I would do is I would focus in on something very specific. For example, I recently started to get traction with my educational reels. So I would probably just niche in and I would say I help existing content creators get more out of their educational reels by showing them how to set them up with ads. Super niche, and from there I can grow out relatively quickly because that's a quick win, simple process, right? And it combines things that are in demand right now. Short form content and content creation is super much on the rise, similar to Claude and AI. And so by combining the skill set, the existing skill set that I have to a certain degree, right, ads as a beginner, I can just translate that method that you can learn off a YouTube video. You can learn it off one of my YouTube videos, right? It's free out there, but I take something that feels overwhelming, confusing to people, a small solution, and I apply it on a market where it's worth a lot. You understand that? So let me say that slowly again, because this is so powerful. There are hundreds of videos out there showing you how to use Claude Code, etc. And the people that are right now succeeding with Claude offers on school, taking those videos and they're understanding one specific mechanism. They're not even the biggest Claude experts, or a lot of them are not the biggest Claude experts in the world, but they're applying it to a specific submarket and saying, oh, I know how to build this specific solution based on this video. Now, where in the market does that create the most value right now? Where are there people that, literally don't know the first thing about it, where with this solution I've been able to acquire super quickly, right? I can provide disproportionate value, right? So like I said, perfect example would be if I was just starting out with ads and I would want to come into the market as an educational creator, I would learn one specific ad strategy, like an Instagram DM funnel, right? And I would go where there's the most demand on the market and I would offer that. And then from there, hourglass principle, I can expand out, right? So I'm making myself super constrained. I'm learning one, technical or emotional challenging thing, and I'm applying it where it has the most value. And because I'm starting narrow, I start to get the first proof. And because proof creates this assumption of excellence, I can now help with other things. And now, people eventually do anything with you. I had people asking me for relationship advice, for weight loss advice, and I'm not an expert in that, but people, because I'm successful to a certain degree in business, assume that I'm good at everything. And the same will happen to you. So that's the hourglass method of building your brand as somebody people seek out for advice and guidance and training. Okay, so tweaking what you have towards that and acquiring a skill that might seem complicated. The conversion API. If you just watch a few YouTube videos on how to set up conversion API for websites, you can sell it to the moon and back, right? So learn one thing that is too complicated for the majority to learn, deploy it on the market where it provides the most value. And this is also here, you see, you edge it on, and that's one of the easiest ways to find your niche completely fast as a beginner. If you're not, a unicorn like this gentleman. And I'm not saying that Elise is not a unicorn. I do think she's very much a unicorn, right? And then this is also what I said, it bleeds into this learn an emerging skill. The beautiful thing about online education is that it is so much faster than traditional education. Some of you might know that I studied marketing. And when we had the online marketing chapter, because I was running Facebook ads at that time, my professor brought me in front of the class and I would explain people and show people how we're running Facebook ads, because the curriculum could not catch up to reality. And there's so many niches and industries, especially with AI now, content creation, marketing, that are so dynamic that traditional education cannot catch up with it. There's also a lot of longevity research. There's a lot of relationship research, etc., right? Where the facts that are coming in real time, the official traditional education system has not caught up with it yet. And the big opportunity to become a niche online educational creator is to say, I am researching, synthesizing faster and bringing it to people way earlier than traditional education could. This is also the reason why school thrives at the end of the day, because there is a need for people to learn things faster, and traditional education can just not offer it. And this is your opportunity market. You want to think about where is traditional education, what is traditional education offering, right? And in what areas is traditional education just too slow to offer it to the market at an appropriate speed? And this is the gap where people like me are making millions, right? With online education, where they can just learn fast from the information they find and from the actual real life experience they gather, and then translate that back for people who want to learn in real time. All right, so let me just catch up a little bit with you. Hi, Emily, nice to see you. Hello, hello. Ooh la la. Hello, Elise. Watching from London. Hey. What niches would you describe the music producer? I would put him in music as well as business or money category. Right? The beautiful thing is when it's not just money, it is also combining a different skill set with it. So question, how do you know where the most demand is? Now that is a really, really beautiful question, and I'll dive into that in a second. But in a nutshell, the beautiful thing about Skool is that it is basically surfacing the unofficial education market demands in real time. If you're looking at Skool now, the way it was restructured because of Growth Boost, it shows you the market dynamics around what people are looking for and purchasing and engaging with in real time. So you basically now have this beautiful market research tool in front of you, giving you the most accurate in real time picture you could find about the unofficial education market, right? Or the secondary education market, because you can see what is trending here, right? And then what is trending in the respective categories. This literally tells you the things that people want to learn. So excellent question here. And the second place where you find it is obviously when, Skool is too small for your market. So there's nothing you can compare to. The second biggest market you can find is on social media with meta ads, because you're entering an auction and you see how your offer is resonating with the market, which is also what we're going to discuss. Love this and love that you use Elise as an example. What is your advice on service-based business? For example, I'm a podcast manager, but also a podcast strategist. And right now, income is done for you. I love that. And you should pay attention at the end when I talk about business model. I believe that for you, it's deciding where do you want to be? Do you want to be a low ticket provider, have a boutique, or really scale a high ticket? And we're going to talk about that. There's a few kind of criteria. I think for you, it's mostly in deciding the business model. I believe that your niche is proven. If you want to go low ticket with your niche, you just want to edge it on. And the easiest way to edge it on is the podcast lab, the Claude AI podcast lab. There you go. So that's what I need right now, Conversion API. See, I told you. So if there's any tech savvy person out there and they're like, I just want to, get started with something and make a buck quick, teach people Conversion API. And my goal is to grow my membership, finally launched it and had 2 paying members. Okay, so in this case, like I said, I'd go with podcasting as the opportunity, and I would edge it on with AI, basically making it that now it's finally doable. I actually have an example for that as well. Interesting. This is exactly what I'm working through now. So the hyper niche offer is essentially the front door to your offer. Sell them what they want and give them what they need. Exactly, right? So you need to you want to think about, like, there's so much information out there and people are so overwhelmed. They just want someone to put an opportunity in front of them that they can understand to the degree where they can say yes to. And once they are in your world, you can guide them. I'm right now helping a beautiful person one-to-one, and it's one of the smartest, probably the smartest person I know. And I invited her into my community. She watched the videos and she was like, oh, and then it was like the downward spiral. I was like, oh, I know nothing, I can nothing. And so I said, no, we just have to follow the process. And I literally did this process with her that I'm describing to you, which is also the same process that we did in the positioning challenge. We validated the entry point. We went through the same skill that I'm sharing with you, validated the entry point, the banner. Now people are coming into the community. And based on that, she created the first offers. And it's like, now I understand what you're saying. Like, everything makes sense right now, right? So it's like even the smartest people will not understand what it looks like until they have experienced what it looks like, right? So I can have a hypothesis about what it is to pitch music to studios and make royalties. I will not know it until I know it. right? But at least he has packaged it so well that I know what I'm getting. Elise has packaged it so well that I know what I'm getting. Claude Code Club is so obvious, packaged so well that I know what I'm getting, right? So and all we have to do is attractive entry point. We know what we're getting, and it allows us to make a hypothesis around like, this is what I want, this is what will move me forward. And congratulations on the first members too. Hello from Cape Town. Curious how this translates to traditional skills and creative skills like hobbies. So many beginner courses and info is already available. And that is a big challenge in there as well. So we're going to have to talk about that too in a second. So hobbies is actually a really, really good point. With hobbies, it is very similar like with weight loss, right? So that I think that's one of the best examples that I can give as a parallel to hobbies. There are two influencers I follow that are now on school as well that are teaching people weight loss, right? And weight loss is like, it's calories in, calories out. It's probably the best documented thing ever, like on the internet, as in like you want to learn about it, like you will find everything you want to learn about it. You want a free workout, you get a free workout. You want ChatGPT to make your weight loss plan tailored, you get it, right? How are these ladies still successful? And you'll see, like here's Studio Era. I just really love her. And then we also have, and she just launched on the platform. I immediately joined because I've been getting so much value from her free content as well, right? See, where is it? It was here somewhere. Or was it in person? Oh yeah, Dream Life Society. There you go. Right, so Madeline basically teaches you fat loss, right? Like I said, the most documented thing ever. But when you see how she is enrolling people into her membership, it is through her content. Let me just find her on Instagram now. I hope I wrote her correctly. Madeline. There you go, right? So massive influencer. And what does she do? Oh, this is like a different one. Okay. What eat more food, lose fat actually means. She just documents it for you. She breaks down the recipes. Her unique angle into this whole thing is you want to be able to not eat like a child, eat big portions, right? And so there are ways to make your meals in a way that they're really, really filling you up. And basically, she's giving you all of that education, just well packaged, entertaining, because she has a potty mouth. She swears a lot, right? And she makes it a little bit fun too. Like when she mixes her things, she's like to the blender, she's like, yes, hit her from the back, right? So she just makes it a bit cheeky and entertaining. And what she does is like she takes the same education that is out there, but she filters the things that made a difference for her in her journey because they solved the problem unique for her, and she delivers it in a way that is entertaining for me. I joined the community as well, partly because I got so much value from her free content that I kind of want to give something back. That reciprocity is huge, especially in the hobby niches. But then also because I liked her recipes and there are more of that in the community. And I just want to be a part of the community to be more immersed in people that are doing this type of work. And she just found her unique angle into it, as in like, okay, if you're somebody who really wants to eat like a lot of stuff and wants to have that gooey, right? So she just brings it in her unique way. And out of all of that information that is out there, she just synthesized that and keeps educating you, keeps reminding you that this journey and this opportunity exists. And she is, as you can also see from the members count, because it says free, but you have to be a member on the app, which is, I think, what was it? I bought it in like an annual deal too. It's $19 a month. It's pretty good for something that is old information. AI didn't change anything about it. It's not very dynamic, right? And then at the same time, as much as I love her, there's so many like her that teach fitness and weight loss, but all in their unique way. What I really love, for example, about Pernille is that she brings in mindset into this, and she also does bodybuilding competitions. So she just brings a different experience and a different component about the vision planning, etc., into it. So I joined this community as well, and a lot of the things I might already know, but I love being reminded. I love being surrounded. I love being in the proximity of the person. Another example of this, and I think the weight loss is just a volume eating. There's this lovely lady, and I think she does it vegan. I can't find her right now. She just does these vegan volume recipes, and the way she does it is like with her kids in the background, she throws it in this big wooden bowl, and she's, like, it is not aesthetic at all, but it's cool, and it's something, it's a different take on it. And that's the path to go in the more traditional niches. It's like you have to add character based on who you truly are, because it will resonate with your ideal client who wants to be on that journey and who knows what to do, but they want to be reminded what to do, and they want to have the inspiration, and they want to have somebody that role models it on an ongoing basis for them. And now here's the cool thing about these three ladies. They couldn't be more different, and I have bought from and resonate with all of them, because I'm a mom and sometimes my stuff looks messy and I just throw everything together and I want this to be good enough. That resonates with me, right? And I love Madeline and her potty mouth, and that she's actually authentic, and I admire that. I wish that I would not be as vanilla in my content as I am. So I also admire her more for that, right? And for just how she brings the content, etc. So this is enough of me, like, as a differentiator, that I'm like, yeah, I want to be in this person's world too. And then for Pernille, I really love her positivity and how she does the vision planning, and it's very much aligned with my role model self. So I'm like, you're also a super awesome woman. I also want to be in your world, right? And the mom is maybe not even as fit as Madeline or Pernille, right? But my mom self just resonates so much with her, and I just love the quick and dirty things, and I also love that it's vegan, right? So do you understand? There's so much market for traditional things that have always been in demand, but you have to bring your personality and your unique edge on it and synthesize it and keep educating as a reminder, keep role modeling it. This is how you provide value and how you get the edge. Please stay vanilla, keep clean. Yes. No, but what I like is, like, it feels very authentic. Do you still recommend 5 to 7 to start paid communities? For a paid community, yes. And I even would recommend to add a free trial. So many notes. I love that. Just quickly, is Growth Boost a tool or a strategy? Growth Boost is what we're doing on Skool for communities. So I am in the background and I am advertising your guys' communities, and we're also shuffling things on platform. So there's on platform algorithm to get the right communities more exposure, and this is mostly based on their demand and their performance. And then I'm also doing it on Meta, which, if you think about it, Skool is a market, and then Meta with Facebook and Instagram is the even bigger market. So I do get a lot of insight as in what's performing on the market, and I'm trying to feed that back to you in this workshop, right? So more of you can align their communities with that, which gives me more fodder for my ads and for our growth efforts as well. We teach traditional bow hunting. We could chunk the niche down even more for law enforcement. No one is doing this. They are our ideal customer, but it's so niche. I like it as like a premium offer. If on the last slide you decide that you should go actually with a high ticket, then I think that this could be good for you, like psychographics based. And if this is like your ideal client, then I do think it's worth testing that for sure, but then I would see a premium offer, which probably does make sense for your niche as well. Hey, thank you so much for catching me live. What tools can I use to record my courses? I have developed several courses in my niche, struggling how to record them. Thank you for this live, Evelyn. I use Loom. I actually just shared in the Schoolers community that I've recorded 7,640 something Looms for my student, and it's just a Chrome extension. Sometimes it's buggy, but it's still like the best thing out there. So Loom, here, screen recording. That's the tool that I use and recommend as well. My mom and I just started a brand new biz for historic home renovation. She has been reviving historic homes for 25 years and I'm a realtor. Our plan is course plus membership. So cool. Absolutely love it. If you open a school community as free or freemium, do you get the affiliate benefit by sharing your about page, or do I need to just share your affiliate link? Thanks. Yes, you would just, that would be nice. Yes, if you share the affiliate link, then that's all that's there to do. I launched a freemium tiers last night in the community, got my first member, including a VIP. Hey, congratulations, Sarah. The About Glow Up has helped me really dial in my niche and identity. Thank you. That's so cool. And I'm going to refer back in the training as well. All right, so now, before I go too much into the questions, and I'll take some time for that for sure after, let me just continue because I do have a lot of things that I really want to cover for you. Okay, so just making sure again I'm sharing my screen because I'm guilty of forgetting that sometimes. Okay, so that's kind of the biggest one. It's like, what's your big niche, right? And then within your niche, how do you position yourself? And if we're now again looking at things that are trending, for example, here, content creation as a business opportunity is a niche that's in demand. And it's also very competitive. Now, how can you position yourself to stand out? Like this gentleman, he capitalized on a trend. GTA 6 will be the biggest video game launch in history, what I heard. And this gentleman knew it. And he said, content creation is a business opportunity. Plus, let me capitalize on the upcoming launch. Extremely smart. So keep your eyes open as in how you could use trends, upcoming events to your advantage. If you think about it, with Grow with Evelyn, when I saw Alex Hormozi putting on the school hat, I knew school would be trending. And I was in like the middle field positioning of people helping coaches. I did have an edge because I mastered ads to memberships, but that was a relatively small market, right? But then I saw, ooh, school, Alex Hormozi invests in it and it's all about memberships. I have to capitalize on it. And this is one of the reasons why I moved. The other reason was I just saw Facebook dying. So I was like, I have to do something. But you always want to give your brain the task right now and say, brain, I want you to always look out for an opportunity to capitalize on a trend. I always want you to look out for trends. Set up a new Instagram account. Only follow creators in your niche, related to your niche, and spend every single day 10-15 minutes just scrolling. This is how you stay ahead of trends. And then you need to know if it's a trend you want to capitalize on or not. I do see, for example, there's this creator on Instagram. She's called, I think, Jessie as well. And she just did a $1.2 million launch because she saw a trend. She created content, right? So she's already in a niche that makes sense. She builds up her profile. Then she sees yapping emerging as a trend. She decides, based on her skill set, her experience, right? She can edge the thing that she does on and do a yapping challenge. And she sold it, I think, as a low cost, I think it was $297 product, did a 1.2 million launch, right? But that is like, do the work in your niche, but keep your eyes open on the trend. So when the trend emerges, you are ready to capitalize on it and move quickly. And I've done it through my journey multiple times, right? I was starting helping people with ads. I saw that online education coaching became a big trend in 2020. I was able to move with the Coach Growth Hub into that trend relatively quickly. Then memberships became a trend. I was able to jump on it. Then school became a trend. I was able to jump on it, right? And you don't want, you don't always want to trend jump, but you always want to do good work, grow, right? Do what you can and keep your eyes open. When there's a trend to jump on and you're positioned well to do it, this will be the growth spikes in your business, and they will catapult you to a new league of your personal brand and of your business, of what you do. Okay, so eyes on the trend. I want you to start a burner account on Instagram today and just follow creators in your niche and start scrolling. This will also really help you later on for the short form content creation that we're going to talk about. Combining two things, right? So we talked about edging it on. Now, when you have your niche, that's also what you want to do. So for example, Etsy, popular make money opportunity, but with AI automation for Etsy, boom, two trending things merged, right? AI automation, Etsy, make money with Etsy, really, really good positioning here inside the make money niche, as well as the AI niche, as well as the Etsy, right? So really, really smart positioning here. I want you to start looking at communities that are trending, and I want you to be like, what are they doing positioning wise? How are they positioning? What things are they combining that are a thing? I want you to start having an eye for what things are a thing. Okay, creator is a thing and GTA is a thing. Etsy is a thing and AI automation is a thing. Then here we see another one, Claude for Coaches. Claude and coaching business is a thing. Combined, they are more of a thing. And what we will see happening, and this is always as niches sophisticate and get more mature. I sold also on Etsy and been working with Etsy sellers for many years. Digital products started to be a thing on Etsy. Then there were social media templates on Etsy. Then there were reel templates and highlight templates and social media branding kits and carousel templates and AI done for you reel packs and industry stock footage for different niches. So it is, as more competition comes in the market, your competition is also making the market, right? And so what I can see, for example, what might happen is that then niches down for Claude for Coaches for making a workshop funnel like he has, and I can maybe see Elise niching down and being like Claude for Coaches who want to have a membership, right? So as the market will get more sophisticated, more crowded with the same people, the market actually net starts to grow, and your next opportunity is to then again niche down, position further into the market. So this is something that we'll likely see happening with this market over the course of the next year. And then go contrarian. For example, Oscar's community is a really beautiful example. He capitalized on a trend, looks maxing. But the way he did it is he has a very different tonality than other look maxers, right? Just if you're looking at his profile picture, etc., it's not the typical just out of teenage years boy, I would want to say, kind of being extreme. He focuses on improving people's looks by fixing their health, right? So much more holistic stance. The whole tonality is different. So you can also just stand out in a niche by just having a different tonality, a different underlying value set behind it. And that was actually also one of the things how I stood out with my offers, because I was going against the high ticket hype, money. I was like actually helping people, keeping things low ticket, don't charge more before you have developed the skills. And because my underlying value of integrity there was really, really strong, a lot of people felt drawn to me. And I was not more of the same from that regard, because I brought my values into it. So your values allow you to go contrarian if it's true, right? If it's true for you that you're not seeing it like this, and that allows you to stand out as well. Okay, now here's an example for tonality about things, right? So tonality, underlying values, this is all the same. I analyzed the Claude's schools on Skool and was like, okay, what's missing? There would be an opportunity for Claude for local businesses. Now, we could position this as a trend, right? So then we would position it as in join the AI employee wave AI employees for local businesses, build AI employee with Claude that answers your phone, right? So join the wave, capitalizing on a trend. Now, combining Claude plus local marketing. Local marketing is a thing. We're edging it on with Claude, okay? Claude meets local marketing, Google reviews, local ads, and neighborhood content for your business, all done in minutes with AI. It's the same thing. It's a different positioning, right? Same niche. That's also, I think, where people get confused. Same niche, same thing, just how you position it. Gaps, right? Finally, one for you, the first Claude community for mainstream. The first Claude community built for brick and mortar owners. Simple AI systems for people who run a real location, zero tech background needed. Again, it's the same thing. It's a very different positioning. Then a contrarian. So, for example, against the gurus, skip the SaaS, grow your real business. You don't need to build an app to earn with AI. Use Claude to add revenue to your business, to the business you already own, for owners done with online guru advice, right? So it's like most of the Claude advice out there is not made for you. It's for online entrepreneurs, content creators. You need something that works for your real location right now. And then, of course, you can always combine things. I tried to make a monster combining everything here, but sometimes they can go overload. You don't want to water yourself down. But if we were to combine all of them, we would be AI employees for Main Street. The AI employee wave is here, and every community teaches to online founders. This one brings it to the owners nobody serves: shops, saloons, gyms, and clinics. Claude plus local marketing in one system that answers your phone, books your calendar, and fills your seats. Built for owners with zero tech background who'd rather grow their own real business than chasing a SaaS dream or an online dream. Right? So I hope you start to see this and play around with AI and be like, okay, based on this, right, what are different ways to position myself in my niche? And then I brought you a skill to do this, so it's a little bit easier, and I will drop it in the chat. Basically, the skill helps you. You answer a few short questions, and then you drop 10 school communities that pull you, and the skill matches your skill to the real demand and ranks your niche options. Then it generates 25 self-explanatory 2 to 3 word positionings plus 11 target markets where you'd sell even easier, and you pick what fits. Then we're mapping your buying persona, write your about page copy. From there, have your banner callouts so that you can start testing your banner, and with that, your community positioning. So if you've not been through the positioning challenge, this is literally what we want to do. And also, again, for becoming an online educator, we want to be on Skool right now because it's literally becoming the biggest online education market that is out there online. Online education market that is out there online. Yes, biggest online education market. And you have a platform with 26 million online education buyers. So this is where you want to be right now. And the beautiful thing about it is also you tap into their conversion API. You have simpler tax, simpler accounting, simpler legal, privacy policy, etc. It's all on Skool. They are your merchant on records. You have cheaper fees. On Stripe, I pay 5.9%. On Skool, I pay 2.9%. And it's technically so easy to set up. I used to teach people funnels. We would spend months until somebody could even start testing a funnel. On Skool, we can set up your community and about page in 20 minutes, and you can have ads running to your community in 30. It's harder to set up an ads manager than to set up a Skool community. This is why we want Skool and why we want to validate on Skool. This should be your home base. So if you have not done it yet, watch the Skool positioning challenge and do it. And if for whatever reason you should later on decide that Skool is not the platform for you, at least now use it to validate your niche and your market positioning. Okay? So I'm going to point you to the right things right now. And of course, quickly check back in with you as well. Okay, so the skill, let me just update this here with the skill. The skill is called Entry Point. And all you have to do is install it on your cloud. So I'll quickly show you what that will look like. So this is the skill. It also comes with about page copy templates. It really guides you through the full process. So I'm just editing it. If you're watching on YouTube, let me just post it on YouTube then instead. There I am. So I just sent this skill for you here. All you have to do, don't open it, just download it. And then go to your cloud, customize, add, upload a skill, drag the skill in here. And now you say, help me find my online education niche. And then it should trigger the skill. You'll see that based on this. And it should start by asking you questions. Yeah, entry point skill. Just follow the steps in the skill and eventually you will walk away having a complete document that helps you, or that has everything in there. So I did it from scratch again. And here you can see what the final document looks like. Okay, so this is what you need. And then also, if you haven't gone through it yet, please, please, please go through the positioning challenge. I'm going to add it to the classroom. And also here, challenge. Ben is just editing the videos for you, so they're a little bit shorter. But this is also what we would want to do. Sorry, I'm so sorry. No, I think I stopped sharing my screen. So this is the school positioning challenge. That's what you would want to do after as well. Okay, so the end of it is that you have your community about page banner and copy for your community description. What you want to do is you just want to use, let me get you the community description prompt. Into the chat as well. So then you have your banner, your description, and your about page copy. And with that, everything you need to validate your positioning as well. Okay, so that is the starting point. And with that, we can then move into the next phase where we are setting up school as your base, then look at your brand channels, and then look at the traffic engine. Before I jump in, let me catch some of your questions here. What is your advice on having a standalone paid course within the community? I think that's a good idea, and you can always leverage it as a bonus. So no issue with that whatsoever. I'm starting, and I do have that, and I do get occasional course sales. So, and I like to use them as a bonus. So when I push for an annual VIP upgrade, I do give a steep discount. And then I also give lifetime access to some of the courses. So let me just show you this. Here you can see this is my lifetime courses vault. So I do leverage this for limited time bonuses. Absolutely. Yes. This is one of my favorite things I learned from you. Awesome. She did a second launch for another 2 to 3 million. I can't remember the final numbers. Really, really smart, right? So it's like, be prepared, be ready, because an opportunity like this does not come around so often. But she saw it and really capitalized on it. And, chapeau, I think this is absolutely insane. I think affiliate links are only for pro plans. That could be. I would need to double check that. My only concern with Skool is the lack of funnels, upsell opportunities. Thoughts on that? Our plan was course and then upsell to membership for people who want support while renovating their home. So I think when you do Skool, you just want to think about the models kind of fundamentally different, and we're going to talk about them. I believe that what you're trying to do here is big head, long tail, and you could still do that in a Skool. So basically, if the course is priced a little higher, you'd very likely sell them through a webinar style, masterclass, workshop, something like that. So then you're charging up front. That gets them into the community. The community setup is a freemium, and then you can have a premium as well as a VIP ongoing support option in there. So absolutely doable. Yes, we'll talk about that in a second. This is as we evolve, because ideally there is an evolution to it. One of the biggest mistakes is that people put what they think it's worth. And we want to make sure that we are positioning it in a way that it is worth that to the market. So I'm going to cover that in a second as well. But it's really important to understand the evolution, because that gives you the basis for commanding prices in the different areas. All right, so let me continue here. Home base. We want to set up the Skool community as a home base. Like I said, let me just quickly confirm I'm sharing the screen. Yes, okay. Like I said, whether you want to stay with Skool long-term or not, there's no better place to validate your niche and positioning and offers as of right now. Because of the overall ecosystem, you can see yourself how you compare to other communities, how you convert compared to other communities. You can tap into the conversion API, and you might even be picked up by Growth Boost, and it makes all of the other things easier, right? So what I don't like about people starting on other things is that other things often have a huge learning curve to set up, or they fail because of other things, because the conversion API is not set up properly, because the website looks, I'm staying vanilla, but it's not good. It doesn't look trustworthy. It loads forever, right? It gets cut off on mobile. Like, a lot of people I cannot tell if they're failing with their offer because it just is done so poorly, right? Or if it is because the offer is not good. And then also other platforms take you so much longer to iterate. And one thing we have to be clear about, most of you will have to iterate multiple times. I have to keep iterating my community. I wish I took a screenshot of every variation of Growth Evelyn. Maybe I can, going through all of my YouTube videos and always find that version of Growth Evelyn. Maybe I can do it with a Wayback Machine or something like that. There must be 20 versions of Growth Evelyn, and that's just normal. Especially if you want to fully capitalize on online education, you want to be in a dynamic market like online marketing, anything with AI, anything with content creation. There are many more, anything, peptides, longevity. There's so many different quick markets basically out there. You have to go with the market. And if it takes you 2-3 weeks and a designer and somebody you hired from a third world country to rebuild your funnel, you're too slow. It's not going to work long term for you. And also, why? Because you can maybe make it work once or two that you pivot, but eventually you'll run out of the willingness to adapt. And that's going to cost you so much, because you want to be able to mold and shape and respond in real time. But if your systems are so complex that you can't do it, eventually you won't do it, because we only have so much capacity, right? And you will always keep lagging behind with it. So Skool, because it gives you the speed you need and the simplicity you need, and it also puts you in the right conditions right now. Otherwise, you're not even participating in the biggest ecosystem right now. So this is your Skool setup checklist. I do have detailed videos about that in Grow with Evelyn, for example, in the Skool setup challenge, and I also have a complete Skool setup tutorial on my YouTube channel, so I don't want to take your time too much with it. You can take a screenshot of that as well. This is what needs to happen in a nutshell. You sign up. If you want to, you can swap affiliate links with other members. Please make sure you're signing up for the Pro plan so we can actually use your free trial to run meta ads to validate your positioning. Like I said, you do not have to stay on the Pro plan. Just having it on the free trial and then downgrading allows you still to use the pixel integration and validate your positioning. You can then get your community banner and copy following the process that I've just shared with you. And if you need it really, really detailed, follow the Skool repositioning challenge. For your pricing setup, connect your payment account, and then your first setup, in my opinion, should be a free or freemium community. From there, you will then determine where to take your community. So ideally, what you want to do is set up the free community and then add a $9 classroom where you say access to all future courses, and then add a VIP tier, a 90-minute monthly one-to-one session with you, and then put the price what the hour is currently worth to you. When I started online, I did 97 for my hour. Some people in some niches want to start lower. Some people with more experience want to start higher. But that's the initial offer that you want to have in your community as you go and you validate your community. And then because you're signing up for the Pro plan, you can also turn on the affiliate program. Okay, then you want to turn on the auto DM every new member, redirect them to the welcome post. In the welcome post, you have a video where you explain that you're super excited to start building this community that is about this niche, and you start to add content to it. You can add a short kind cancellation video. You don't have to. Then you need to set up your MetaPixel. It's super easy. I have, again, a free video about that on my YouTube channel. Basically, all you have to do is paste the pixel ID and the API token, and you're all set up. If you want to sell one-to-one, or you just want to get in contact with more people to talk about your community, to get clarity about your offer, put a link for a discovery call on the sidebar. Put your instant approval turned on, and then put unlock chat at level 3 to avoid spam. Okay, we don't need many categories, just one category that is general discussion. You let the other topics emerge over time, and just keep Skool built-in rules. And then also add your keywords so that you can be indexed in discovery. Pin your welcome post, give them 4 steps, say to watch the video, explore the classroom as you're adding things, and introduce themselves and let them know that they can upgrade to unlock access to all future classrooms, and they can get support by booking a discovery call and seeing if the one-to-one option with you is a good fit. In the classroom, just have a start here section where you put a coming soon banner, and then on your about page video, you can or cannot put an about page video. If you do it when it's still very early, just cast a vision for the space. Hi, my name is, my goal is to help X who want Y in this community. As you see, I'm just building the space. So you're early to the party, you get all the benefits of being early in something like this. Thank you for joining and helping me build this out. Optional, okay? And then invite your first members. If you are in a community like in Grow with Evelyn or any other school, network with other people and get your first free, I call them the free friendly porters, because it's like, you know, when you go right by a Western town and there's nobody in it, it's a ghost town, you will not pause there. Versus when a few people are sitting there, it feels safe to go in and to come in as well. And this also is something we're seeing in the advertisement cost. When a community only has 1 member in there, very, very high advertisement costs to get the first few members. When there is already 5 members in there, at 10, it starts to typically be really good. Then the conversion rate to the ads is a lot higher. So just get friends in there, get family in there, get other community builders in there. Try to have free people invited as a minimum. and get them to say, yes, I will like your post. Yes, I will leave a comment. Goes such a long way to do it. Okay, and like I said, if you don't have friends, family, or anyone you can ask, just ask in Grow with Evelyn. We have the activity allies for that. Okay, so next we need to talk about brand channels. Now, you want to fill up your community and you also want to build your context bank for your online education business. So for that, we always want to think YouTube first. And that sounds really, really challenging, but it's very easy and I have all of the skills for you. So all you do is you record. I'm so sorry. I have to quickly check on my husband. I hope he's okay. Just give me 1 second. Yes, he's okay. Sorry. Yes, he's okay. Yeah, he's just on the treadmill and he's okay now. Okay. Going back to the brand channels. Thank you, everyone. Okay. YouTube first, it's really simple. All we do is we are documenting what we're learning, what we're working on in that niche, right? And it's actually good if you're quite a beginner. When I started running Facebook ads for coaches, I knew nothing about the online coaching industry. So I was learning a ton every single day, like basically through the fire hose of exposing myself to helping people and doing the work. And I had a free community. I was helping a ton of people for free. I would jump on free calls and I also did it with my baby on the lap. So I just tried to make the time for it as much as I can to just help a lot of people. Every person I helped, I learned so much about what this means. And I had to look up things and I had to research them. So I was really, through exposing myself to trying to help others in real time, I was learning through the fire hose and I captured that. At that time, I was still writing it down. Later on, I switched to recording myself and just as I would go through something and set it up, be like, oh, now I'm clicking here. Now I'm doing this. 1 second. But ultimately, I did capture the steps and I did capture my thought process with it. And often I would also just sit down at the end of the day and I would just brain dump everything that I learned about myself, about this business, a new strategy that I didn't know, what I learned from that YouTube video that I watched. So I just built up all of my context library about that. And what we can do now because of AI is we can just take our most recent recordings, and like I shared before, I like to just use Loom for that. So this is Loom, right? And you can record and you can just take your transcripts here, and then we can put all of our transcripts into AI and we can have it give us viral titles. Like I said, I have a skill for you based on actual outlier videos that you can use. And then it gives us a video title that it gives us a lot of video titles. We're going to select one where we feel like we can talk to it. And then we're going to ask AI again, now interview me to tickle out everything I know about this topic that the video will be about. You again just speak out what you know, and I'm often like really shocked because I'm like, oh, that's not cohesive, like a cohesive stream of consciousness. But then we give that brain dump back to AI and we say, with this skill, make me a script and make me a visual artifact about it. And it does that beautifully. And now I have processed my thoughts and I have a artifact where I can walk people through. And I would quickly want to show you this here on YouTube, because again, it does not have to be super complicated. And also in the beginning, I did not edit any of my videos. Only about 1.5 years ago, I started having an editing service. And this is just because I can now afford more to invest in my brand. But even before that, it didn't matter so much. And I did, unfortunately, unlist a bunch of old videos after the school games because somebody told me, oh, they're unprofessional. Like a few months later, I had a huge dip in the sales, and it took me a while to realize that it was from the gap of these old YouTube videos missing, right? So let me just show you an example. So here you see what it looks like. It's a loom and it's me walking through. Like I said, so yes, there's a fancy transformation. You don't need that, right? Invest in it when you can. In the beginning, just make sure you're having these videos. These things are built really, really quickly. It's just a Claude skill where after you have recorded your answers about the topic, you just say, now build me the visual video artifact for it, and then it will build it out for you, okay? Currently, I'm having these skills inside of this classroom, but I'm going to make sure to add all of the skills for you below once the recording is processed and we've chopped it up into chapters for you. So you have these skills and you can run them. And I'm also going to give you a quick tutorial how to sequence them out as well. It really is not that complicated. And also, it is the best thing you can do for your community because it's that initial content that goes inside your community. And once you have this, you can also strip the transcript of your video to then create small digital products from it, which will then start to fill up your school with the right things. So this is where we want to start. Also, YouTube is long-term the best for sales, the best for branding, the best for building your personal brand and building the relationships and building your context library. So we want to add it to the mix. And ideally, we want to get you to a point where you can record one YouTube video per week. With the process and the skills that I have for you, I believe you, even if you're doing it for the first time, you should be done in 90 minutes. In the future times, I believe you should be able to get it done in 60 minutes or less, which I think once a week is a pretty good commitment for really starting to build your niche online education brand. Now, once you have that habit dialed in, I want you to also build your brand on Instagram. So when I started back in 2020 and then 2021, there were a lot of people in my niche they was really looking up to. They were huge at that time. And none of them invested in YouTube or their Instagram growth. Back then they had, 20, 30,000 followers at that time. And a few weeks ago, I checked some of the people I would look up to. Some are not posting at all anymore, right? I don't even know what happened to their business. Some are posting and, they still have their 20, 30,000 followers, but their stuff has 2 likes, 3 likes. It just absolutely is not there. And content creation and the game on Instagram has sophisticated so much. You also saw it with the yapping challenge, right? You need to be a part of it in a decent quality. The B-rolls with the text over, they are great ads and they're great if you're posting nothing. But ideally, you want to get into the game of creating truly educational short-form pieces of content. I shared some of them here with you, and I want to tell you I've been at this since January. I've been hating this. I've been exuding more effort to avoid doing this than to actually do this. But eventually, I really committed myself to learning it properly and doing it properly. Again, because the other things here allowed me to allocate some time to this. And now things are really taking off. I have my first one that has almost 100,000 views here. It starts to grow my account. It made idols of mine, like for example, Ben Heath, who is one of the biggest meta ads online educators, follow me from a reel, which was like so cool to see. So it starts to really have that impact on my personal brand on Instagram. And even more importantly, it's some of my best performing ads. Because also with ads, image ads can get us so far if we want to scale, right? And now I'm talking about, I'm making $79,000 a month with just that community. And I have a large retainer for school, and I have other school communities too, and I have businesses outside of YouTube, of school still too, which we're now starting to transition. So stay tuned about that. But I'm doing around 150,000 a month. So I'm talking like if you really want to scale after, you eventually want to add it to the mix. And because there's a big learning curve to it, you want to start thinking about that and start practicing and putting it out there. But one thing after another, I'm a big advocate of building the habit and the capacity so you can hold the next thing. I only started doing this once I really was able to be consistent with my YouTube. And now I'm starting to get consistent with this, right? So you want to stack. There's no point in trying to do everything at once and spread yourself too thin. But ultimately, if you want to have this really established online education brand, I believe these are the 3 things you need to have. You need to be established on Skool. There will be things that make Skool even more like a marketplace. And as somebody who sold to Amazon, some of you might not notice, I've been an Amazon seller and then I've been an Amazon vendor. I sold over 12 million worth of goods to Amazon directly. As somebody who has been on marketplaces for a while, I can just tell you, you want to get established. You want to build your presence, your reputation here now. So I believe online educators who want to really, really build a strong personal brand that is profitable and grows for years, they will ultimately need all 3 things. Skool as the home base, YouTube as the backbone, long-term insurance for their personal brands, and for mainly also for the trust that is needed to convert, and then Instagram for the perceived position of the personal brand in the overall game of where personal brands are in your space, right? So I also saw that a lot more ad educators started to really get serious about Instagram content. I have to be part of that. Otherwise, I look like the coaches that I was looking up to in 2021 that are now flatlining, right? Also from an overall business perspective. So I believe that if you truly want to scale and be successful long-term, these are the 3 pillars to build up to. And the sequence is make it on Skool, make it on YouTube, make it on Instagram, because that is where you have the revenue coming back as faster, as well as where you also have the brand reputation. If you have 100 people in a community on Skool, you are someone as a community owner. If you have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, you're someone as a YouTuber. If you have 10,000 on Instagram, you're really getting somewhere on Instagram, right? So also the levels of difficulty and how quickly those things are paying you for your expertise, they're stacked. But it does not mean that one is better than another. It just means that you need to get the sequence right. And one more story I want to tell you. There's one lovely lady, I'm helping her as a ongoing consulting with her webinar ads. And we just built a video sales letter funnel on top of that. So when I say we built, she hired someone to build it, to add it to the mix, because we're almost on track to scale her to 7 figures. But she just wants to add one more funnel because she believes that not all of her ideal members are sitting through the webinar. And so the person that she has it built for doesn't even take on anybody who sells a high ticket offer if they don't have a YouTube channel. They don't have a YouTube channel, they're not posting consistently, they're not taking it on because he says you have no chance of making it work with the ads if people can't look you up. And from what I've seen, this is so true. And even Alex said he built his personal brand to be able to run ads profitably long-term, because it's the biggest lever for the ads as well is when you have your personal brand. And this is why long-term you need all of them. So even if you short-term capitalize on an opportunity, this dies down as quickly as it grows. So you need to keep leveraging it forward and keep building your brand. And this is the sequence in which we want it. Also going to link the different formats for you below, because finding the right formats that are trending right now in the educational niche on YouTube, on Instagram can be quite tricky. And I want to give you all of the ones that worked for me, like, for example, the this or that format, or the 4 videos to watch right now, or the clone, or the triple clone. So I'm going to give you all of them in the membership as well. All right, and then we're going to talk about the traffic engine in a second. I just quickly want to check in with you. Everybody still there? Cookies. Yes, we love cookie offers. The conversion API is the server-side tracking of Meta. So Meta has 2 ways to track your conversions: browser-side through the pixel, and then server-side where the servers communicate with each other. And ideally, you have both server-side and browser-side installed. So Meta has the most data about your buyers, so that it can find you more of your buyers. And Skool has this integrated extremely well. It's usually a huge technical setup, and in Skool it's literally just 2 clicks. Of course. Hello, I turned on free trials just this week, and it really helped me in trending. Any tips on converting free trials to paid? Really good that you did it. Now, Sam is actually working on a feature that we're releasing, I think, before the next Skool news even, where you can log things for free trials. So that's one thing that is going to help. And then also Alex shared something in Platinum about giving them small wins, like really quickly. And I think this is Shamika from the Faceless YouTube video, right? So what you would want to give them is like, day 1, find the title, like find your niche, right? Day 2 is like, find your first video idea. Day 3 would be like, make the title and thumbnail. Day 4 would be like, set up your YouTube channel. Like really try to give them like a quick win every single day. I probably, with the traffic challenge as well as the Skool relaunch challenge, I just give too much. So people are really overwhelmed by it, which is the number one reason why people don't stay after the trial, right? We reach out to people. It's like, it's just too much information. I can't. So I also need to create like a quicker 7-day win journey for myself. And probably what I just said, YouTube channel setup and first video, etc. Maybe it's just you help them find their niche in the first 7 days. So try to really give them a quick win. Maybe it can be the niche and then a plan for their first month or something like that. Something that also future paces them. It's typically really good. So those are the 2 things that I can give you that we see working right now across the platform. Hello, I am. 2-part question. How would you market to people who don't know they have a problem? Dog owners who want a long life for their dog, but they don't believe pain will ever happen to their dog. To solve the unaware problem, I now offer a free 30-minute call for new paid members where I teach them how to check their dog for signs of pain. Should I do that for free trials or only paid peeps? I would also do that for free trials. And I think that this is actually a really great ad. If you can package that in a way that it doesn't need your one-to-one time, and it's basically free mini course how to check your dog for pain. I think this can really crush as an ad, because if I'm a dog owner and I have an ad, I would do storytelling format. This one, love. So it needs to be unaware ads. And I would also do educational short form content like the examples that I had, And here, for example, when we're looking at the examples that I gave you or that I have here, probably the clone would be good, right? Responsible dog owner versus, irresponsible dog owner. And one is like, I check my dog for pain once a month, or I don't know how often, right? So I do this. I don't think about that at all, right? So you would basically compare like one dog owner with another. I think that would absolutely crush. And then you can have like a short call to action segment at the end where you're like, here's the thing, this is not to blame anyone, it's just to create awareness. Most dog owners don't even know that their dog is in pain, that it affects longevity. This is exactly why I've created this solution and why I'm giving it away for free in a 7-day trial, because if you love your dog, you should be doing this right now. Click the link below and join us. And then once they're in, they can go through this, and then you can invite them, again, 7-day, hey, to get the most out of your trial, I invite you to go through the 7-day longevity challenge for your dog. Every day we're covering one important longevity pillar, and you do 5-minute videos, short checklist, cheat sheet, goodie with every single video. That's probably how I would package it. If I would, was to see this ad, and I would be mortified based on the conversations we had, right? There was a lot of things I didn't know about my dog. It was actually really bad. We once went to the vet, and I didn't know he had an ear infection, and it must have hurt him so much. And I felt horrible. Like after, it was terrible. Now, if I was in your shoes, that was the story that I would tell. I was mortified. I so upset with myself, so angry at myself that I let this happen to Finn, right? So that would be the story that I would tell. And if I was to see an ad, somebody making me aware of that, I would be like, hold my horses, I need to, make sure he's fine. So that's probably like the two formats that I would try: educational, this or that, and the long form direct response story. Get them in the door with, giving that like immediate relief, like, okay, here's how you can check, and then make the invitation, hey, to get the most out of your trial, let's go for the longevity challenge, and then use the longevity challenge to really create that gap awareness. Advice to capitalize with a current school community where I've been teaching Claude as a business partner for coaches, online solopreneurs. Do I rebrand my community to capitalize on Claude now? I would bring it in if you can. And I would, it should not be, it's not just like putting lipstick on a pig, right? Not saying your community is a pig at all, but it's like, we don't just want to add it for the sake of adding it. Again, there could probably be, for me, I did it with the artifacts, right? So I started using Claude artifacts like super early. Now I have like people even copying me with that, and it also works well for them. So I had that early, and the making digital products with the Claude artifacts was something that I could genuinely add as a value add to the community. So you would want to think about, what can you genuinely do with them that really gives them an edge? Maybe you can make a skill box for them, right? Maybe you can templatize like the full journey. One thing that I did for coaches was a dashboard for their client sessions. They really loved that. So just make sure it makes sense, and it's kind of you doing it in a way that it genuinely adds value. I mean, LinkedIn is good as a platform for certain creators, and it's definitely under leveraged and underutilized. But when I just think about building my personal brand as an educational creator long term, I don't see people caring as much about how many followers or what content someone has on LinkedIn. That is a much smaller circle of people, so it does not give you the same credibility and kind of aura effect as the other platforms. Of course, if you have already something that's working for you, way to double down on that, right? Instead of running ads initially to free PDF, would you instead recommend running them to a free school community? Yes. We already started YouTube, IG, and TikTok, and just a week we are getting good traction. Yes, I would just send them to the school community where they can get the resource, but also watch all of the YouTube videos. I'm ranking pretty high in Google with my free school community because I basically pull all of my YouTube content in here, and I just use NotebookLM write a blog post function to add the blog post for it. And this is working really, really well for me, also from an SEO perspective. So yes, that I would definitely do that. Also because you can re-reach these people, right? Every 72 hours you can make a push post, and the school posts, they make it much more to the inbox than emails these days. My email list always was my most profitable asset, and this is the first year where my school communities are much more profitable than my email list. And I think it's partly, right, because I have not sold as many self-liquidating offers as before, but I also noticed that email is changing. So it's, for a lot of people, email is just not clicking the same way it used to. Oh, thank you. Piggybacking Shamika's questions, when you say quick wins, are we sending them to 7-day sequence, or is it just a module that says 7 days? How do we deliver it so new people don't miss the step? I would ideally just sequence it out in a classroom, and I will have to redo mine because it should just be short, right? So I always grossly overestimate what a beginner can handle. So don't be like me in that regard. Make it really simple, okay? Make it really short. It's like this, my biggest downfall is don't go deep, but I will. So, oh, wow, Evelyn, I love this. And the everyday element too. Thank you. Beautiful. Actually, for one of my members in the AI coach certification, I will create a skill to do this from the existing content. So I'll share that in Grow with Evelyn as well. And I'll probably do it with the recording of this workshop too. I'm a public floor school, and getting anyone to commit to paying customer has been a challenge, but maybe I need to create a 7-day win like you were saying. Yes, and really create that gap awareness, right? Pelvic floor health is important for so many things, right? I'm just learning this now. And I think there's there's ways to educate women around that. And of course, if you can also somehow tie it into appearance as well, or things, where there's some shame, urgency around solving the problem, this will also help. Currently doing a live challenge and driving people from my channel to my community for no-code app builders. Oh, that's exciting. That's a really, really cool niche to be in. I really love that. I also think with no-code apps, specializing on a community is a really good idea. I recommend it to someone to specialize, for example, on schoolers to build no-code apps, because a lot of people are looking for ways to make their community more sticky without creating always new things, right? One of the things that I do for my community, as you can see, is I'm always trying to help members better by creating new resources, new training, new content to help them to get to implement. But I also have a SaaS now, which is my EverAds tool, where instead of teaching people, I just bake the functionalities, like, for example, all of the campaign objectives, I just bake them in here. And now, people don't actually need to learn anymore, like what type of campaigns and when do I use what. It just tells it to them in like a really simple way. And so I believe that there's, for example, a big opportunity to focus on one audience, like educational creators, and help them to make a no-code SaaS as a new opportunity, not to have to be in the content creation hamster wheel, for example. And I'm just saying a random niche, but what I'm trying to tell you is this market is getting crowded enough for you to really think about niching down further on something that already has a lot of traction, right? It could also be, for example, content creators that want to use it as a lead capture and conversion mechanism, right? So in the sense of like, freebies is dead. This is why nobody is opening the thing from your ManyChat anymore and they're not buying anything. They want to see something better, right? So there's different ways kind of to position that. I just think about like zooming in, and maybe you're already doing this. And I think it's what you can also do is just making sure as the people come in, there's tools like Scoot, Goosify, I think Goosify as well, that allow you to schedule reminders when you need to follow up with people. So you can just have the reminder, okay, this person is now on day 2. I send them a quick message and I check in with them. And you can also semi-automate that. It's probably worth it in the beginning to do it as you grow. If we're on Go High Level with our program, should we also be on school or just focus where we are? It's hard to say, because again, with High Level, I can't 100% say, is it the offer or is it the setup itself? I think if you have thoroughly tested the validation, I think if you have your setup, everything already there, you have your sales funnel and you're prepared to rebuild, change, shape, you can absolutely stay there as well. I personally just love how flexible school makes it for us to create. Advice for taking deep curriculum into a day-by-day step for a challenge. Do you have a skill? Yeah, I'll be working on that, okay? Oh, EverAds is incredible. Got 15 new members. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. Wingman! Thank you. I have it even. All right, so everybody clear on like where we ultimately want to be, and you'll see this build out really well, and probably there will be some sort of accountability around the YouTube as well. And then I also start to build out this library for you now that I'm cracked the code. I did not really crack the code, but now it's not as embarrassing anymore. I was really making such a fool out of myself. I was making content around why the content creation is so hard, just because I didn't want to do the work properly. And now that I have some things going, I can templatize them and I can make it a little bit easier for people as well. So I'm looking forward to also bringing more of that. But again, I don't want it to be a distraction until you have your routine here and you're able to create one YouTube video per week consistently. Unless you already have something going, I don't want you to spread yourself too thin. All right, now the traffic engine. Okay, so in the beginning, we follow the school positioning challenge and we are validating our niche, which is our about page banner and our copy, because Emily just asked and she said she's on high level. In this case, think about your above default page as this is now your banner. Okay, so in your case, you would want to advertise your above default page as your banner, versus on school, it's your banner. And then for the copy you can write an about page similar to school. Just use the same formulas. Use that as your ad copy if you're testing outside of school. If you're testing on school, you will test with your about page banner as the ad visual and with your about page copy as the ad copy. You will see which banner gets the most spend on Meta and gets you the most members into your school community. Okay? So that is the validation, and it has to happen first. Now, after you have this, it will depend on what model you're going with. If you're going with the low ticket model, you already know what's to come. You're going to scale the ads and you're going to advertise your school from multiple angles in different formats, long form direct response copy. You're going to make a loom. You're going to have a traditional banner image about it. And you're also going to advertise the things that are inside your school community, right? Like here or here, the Glow Up course, the classrooms, as well as the individual deliverables. Okay? Ad variety is the keyword here. And you're also going to take your short form educational content as ad content. Here you really have to go broad and you have to go with a high volume. If you have a free or freemium community, again, we're going to talk about the evolution in a second, your ad game is a lot easier because you do have the one-to-one clients with that a higher backend, or you already are going into a premium offer. So all you really need to do is first the banner and then ads based on your banner, simple image ads, because it's free. It's much easier to get people in, right? You don't need to work as hard here. And then, of course, as soon as you have educational short form content, this will be some of the cheapest ways to get the right type of people into your community and build your personal brand at the same time. So this is why we also really need, long-term, these pieces of educational content, because here, when we're advertising, your ad just works for your offer. If you have your face on there, it also works a little bit for your brand, like here or here, but this just works for your offer. Based on this ad, or this ad, or this ad, or this ad, nobody cares about Evelyn. This already does a little bit for my personal brand, and this does really heavy lifting format. This not as much because it's a B-roll, but already more than if my face was not on there. And this does really, really heavy lifting for my personal brand, right? It really elevates your personal brand, gets you many more followers for your socials, for your Facebook pages, and also really builds that perceived authority, that reputation, that brand long-term with your clients. So the advertisement dollar stretches so much further than just into your existing offer, which is, again, also why ultimately we need to work on that. Okay, that is the traffic engine. The step-by-step over-the-shoulder setup we have in the repositioning challenge on day 3. So you want to follow along there. Okay, now once we have, found our niche and positioning, we have a first packaging built on school. In there, we're starting to post YouTube videos, right? And you understand where those other 2 platforms fit in, and you start to run traffic. You now have to create your stuff and evolve your offers. Okay, so the next thing is you document what you work on. We already talked about this, and I shared this today in the Scholars community. It was so funny. 7,314, I thought 7,600. Anyway, 7,314 videos on Loom, right, that I've recorded where I documented the work, made training, gave members feedback. All of that is context I can process into things for my members. And all you really have to do is capture your own journey, right? So we talked about Madeline, the cool cat. She wanted to find a way to get fit and lean herself. For her, making these delicious high volume meals was what worked out. Now she has all of these recipes as a byproduct, and people are paying to join, to get access to them, and also to be in her proximity because she is that person who does that thing, right? We want to be close to her because she does what we want to do. And with that, she's our guiding light in that. Now, for example, I solved a problem for my school. I needed an attraction offer after buying Alex's book in the launch. I was like, okay, this offer is what I'm going with as an attraction offer. I'm making a challenge. Let me document making my challenge and templatize every single post that I've already made because I already did the work for myself. Now you don't have to go and start it from scratch. You can have all of my pieces. Now, if you're creating a challenge for the first time, how much easier? Let me just see if I'm sharing my screen. I was so paranoid about that. How much easier is it to build a challenge from this than to just build it from scratch? It takes out so much uncertainty, so much guesswork, right? And it goes all the way down to, okay, here's how I've thought about building the challenge. So I'm passing those thoughts on to you. And how do I know how I thought about building the challenge? As I built it, I was recording myself and I was talking. I was like, I can do it like this, but if I do it like that, then this will be the problem. So I might actually have to do it like this. But then I put it in AI and I'm like, what are the first principles of my thoughts? Why did I come to the conclusion? What does it say about how we need to build this, right? So you're really just yapping out as your brain works in real time on that thing. And then it extracts the first principles. And it's not only, right, true for a make money online thing. It's also if you're teaching how to, work with your dog. Well, okay. Oh, here's my dog. Oh, I want to actually investigate her. Let me quickly hit record. Okay, so my dog just jumped up and I just want to make sure she's okay. Okay, yeah. Oh, she has this on her paw. Like last summer, she injured her paw and this is what happened. You record it. You're like, okay, I just took care of my dog. What are the universal principles, learnings that I can package so that they will have other dog owners? Just start capturing what is happening because that's also your unique advantage. You capturing what is happening is in no AI, it's in no Google, it's truly yours. And you can package it after for first principles and make it relevant for everyone else, right? So I captured my thought process and then I captured my work. I've written this post, turn it into a template. I've made this, turn it into a template, right? And the same is like, okay, now I've examined my this, turn it into a step-by-step guide on how to examine your dog, how to make sure they're okay, right? You now have a template. It's so crazy with AI that we're now able to do this. And then help others do it. I helped Ben do it. And he was going through it and he was running ads. So I was like, okay, let's set up your ads together and let's also check them in. Let's see how they're doing for your community. So you help another person doing it. You're asking them for permission. Can I record helping you? Right? And sometimes they just allow you a mind protocol. That's fine too. Can I record helping you? Okay. Now that becomes helpful content for others because helping another person do the thing adds another layer of perspective and it tickles out expertise and context that is not in the original thing. So with that, it becomes more valuable. And then eventually, as you grow and you have more help, you have people that have gone through the thing that now help others do the thing. So for example, I have Jen in my membership and she did a call where she followed the steps together with other members in a co-working and they figured it out together. Even more relevant context, more people doing it, following the process, more context, even more people are able to replicate, right? So it's all coming from, okay, me just documenting what I do anyway to become a full solution for people so that they don't have to start from scratch. The same, right? When I launched my $7 tier, I'm not just going to launch it. I'm going to document like every single step. And that's also what you want to think, no matter what journey you are on. Don't just do it, document it. That's, why I have so many videos, but that's also why I have so much content and why I ultimately also have so many sales. It's because I'm productizing my existence and my work and what I have to do anyway. Ever Ads is the result of me running ads for school and having to build a more efficient system, right? And we're tailoring it to what the members need and what I need for Grow with Evelyn. But it's just captured experience and made into a product. Okay, so you want to do this, and first you will always do this just documenting, right? And you just, whenever you're doing something, just jump on, just record. Eventually you'll have recordings with enough context about it that you can say, let me do one proper video about it. From that video, you can extract it and you can create real tangible products, right? So because it doesn't have to be this big. This big is hard to make, and it also is often harder to sell. This is one of the biggest things that I see people now have their community now like, okay, which course do I do first? If you've been in Grow with Evelyn, you know that I did the Ads to Z course, which is a 7-hour course about Facebook ads last, right? Because first off, it's not the most attractive offer to sell, and it's the hardest one for me to create. So the risk of me doing this for a couple of weeks in my business, I cannot face that risk if I'm not knowing it will reap the rewards, if I'm not knowing it's needed. So you want to go way smaller, capture, attractive YouTube video, digital product from the YouTube video, advertise the product, people come consume the product and they're like, I have this piece now, but what happens next? Now suddenly you start to see the pattern of what they actually need, and your big roadmap, the big transformation starts to build itself in front of your eyes. And now you can say, okay, they really need an A to Z walkthrough on how to become an niche educational creator fast. But now I can give you that. And it's not a theory I made up in my head. It's all of the pieces of the real work I did and that I help others do coming together into something that actually works, because it's just capturing what actually happens. Okay, so that's how you are really extracting your experience, and you're coming to a roadmap and to a solution map that actually works for people. And this now can be packaged differently. Okay, you're starting with your freemium community. Like I said, the easiest setup is to just make a little boutique. People can come for free, they can hang out for free in your world. This is your audience now. They can get access to all of your products under the $9 tier, but then they don't get a lot of access to you. Maybe you're doing a Q&A workshop when you feel like jumping on. And then there's one-to-one mentoring with you, or it can also be coaching if you have coaching skills, if you're trained, right? Or it can also be consulting. But this is your boutique. You have a few people you're helping closer with, right? Like, for example, the lovely lady I have right now, I have a few. I get so much more insights from working really, really closely with them, because I'm always being put back in the position of a complete beginner, right? And it's very easy for me to forget those things as well. And also the market changes and the world changes. So it's super good to have someone I work with closely that always pulls me back into that position, right? And that allows me to then, from that context, make the products and the solutions that people can self-study and self-consume. Now that is the easiest first one. And with the new changes that are coming where we can here optimize for purchase, this is also now even easier to monetize. And honestly, you can also stay here, because if you have your 5 to maximum 10 clients you're working more closely with, and then you have your one-to-many products for the monthly recurring revenue, you have and then your YouTube content is the base content in here, you have a really, really beautiful and sustainable setup. Now, if you want to scale beyond that, right? Or if you have an offer in here, a small offer that just clicks, you can decide where you want to go. Do you want to go low ticket, right? So eventually you'll want to have fewer and fewer of those one-to-one clients at all, right? And you just want to scale really into the one-to-many. Then you got to go low ticket. That's what I'm doing in Grow with Evelyn, what I'm role modeling in here. Or you say, hey, I actually getting so much confidence from helping these people. I feel like I have a bigger process and I want to offer it to fewer people that are really qualified, that pay me a premium for access to me. Then you want to go with a setup like Synthesizer has it, right? And I teamed up with them because I do not believe that low ticket is the right way for everyone. I think you have to understand about yourself. Where do you want to be? Do you want to? I see a lot of people getting really frustrated being a low ticket provider because they're like, I'm giving away all of this value for $7 and then a free trial and then 40% cancel on me. Like, what the fuck? Sorry, this is like so much of my life's worth of experience and people are not valuing it and they're not taking action. So if you cannot handle that, it's not going to work for you because you're going to have so much resentment about it that you cannot fully lean into it. And there's like a lot of people that feel like that. And I don't want to say it's not valid, right? I like to see myself as Grow with Evelyn is a gym. I provide the equipment and I provide the training instructions and all of that. If you come or not, it's on you. I can be there every day and I can work out. It's on you if you come or not. But maybe you don't want to be a gym. Maybe you want to be a premium personal trainer where the client paid so much that they value your time so much that they show up 10 minutes earlier, right? And they're honored to work with you. You have a wait list. They're lucky to have you. Maybe you want that. You just have to know that about yourself. Once you're able to help people more and more, both is possible. And until then, you might want to stay in the lower price range to really make sure you are able to provide as much value as you're selling it for. But eventually you'll evolve it. And then that dictates, again, to go back, your advertisement strategy. It does not dictate this. The content stays the same for both. Both need trust. Both need brand, right? What it changes is when you're selling a high ticket, you do way less productizing and documenting, way less offer creation. So instead of creating all of these small solutions, right, and advertising all of the small solutions, you're developing one premium offer. And you have one simple entry point and you're looking for one specific person. So to go back to the positioning challenge, your net is a filter. Versus here, this is really a broad net and we're trying to get everyone in. The benefit of this is that it allows you to be very flexible, very creative, give what you have, really, be that person that is always, working on something and documenting something and templatizing something. You gotta like that, right? If not, this is gonna drive you crazy. If you like this, is gonna be the most beautiful thing in the world because I love it, I live it. But if you don't like this, and on Skool, I'm like a premium provider. Skool is my high ticket client, right? They pay me a really nice retainer for me to do their ads. I also like that. There's also a lot I like about, just having one client and they're a really good client and they treat me really well and they really appreciate me and they pay me really well. Totally understand that as well. I could also see myself, maybe I'm one day retiring from this and I work with 2-3 big companies. I can also see myself doing that. You just have to know what is right for you right now. Okay? But in any position you're in, you always have to make sure that it's right by the customer and you're providing value for the price that you command. All right, so this is basically it in a nutshell, right? To recap, we first nail your niche and your positioning. We make a first hypothesis about that. We're setting it up in a Skool community so we can validate it with ads. Once you're validated, you're gonna grow it and you can choose to keep ads running, or you can just choose to add YouTube and social media to get more people into the door. And if you're on Skool, you'll also get traffic from Skool, right? You also get exposure on the platform. So if your positioning is right, you should get organic traffic from Skool as well, at least from search, even if you're not trending. So now you have a thing that is there and that is growing. Now you start to document. From the documentation, you develop solutions that help people. Ideally, if you're a complete beginner, you're also working with a few people more closely so you can accelerate the information coming in and you can productize faster. Once you have productized to a point where you're seeing the big picture, you want to make your decision. Do I stay like low ticket or maybe working with a few people, or do I not want to work with people at all anymore? I just want to be low ticket exclusively, or do I want to go in the premium direction? That will then dictate how you're scaling up your ads. And for your socials, nothing changes about that at all. All right, so let me capture some questions. Hello, sir. Thank you. Oh, Clayton, nice to see you. I think you're the only person who has more looms than me. I think I remember we talked about that. My paid membership is on another platform. I'm thinking of creating a free school just to use as a lead generation to get people into my world. X school, free recipes, paid biz growth for bakers. I think it's a good idea. I would just try to have a presence there. And you can still also just have the free community and maybe even start charging for school, and then just unlocking the course for them, even if you just want to keep that membership platform separately. I personally love school payments because they take care of the tax and they have the low transaction fees, but it's ultimately your choice. And I also would like use that group as an email list. Like I said, I rather have a free group as my email list these days than an email list. Like even with the shift we're making now for the business that is still outside of school, we're actually going to cancel Active Campaign, and which is $7,000 a year. By the way, $7,000 a year. And we're just going to do email for school. That's it. I don't think people realize how cheap email for school is and how effective it is. At the beginning of last year, I almost launched a school for schoolers about vibe coding with my man. Yeah, I think it's a good idea, right? But it has to also, like, you have to have the proof around it too. But I still think it's a good idea. EverAds is a total game changer in launching ads, and Jack and Mark are very supportive. Thank you so much for sharing. They are truly brilliant and absolute gems. I have nothing but good things to say about both of these gentlemen. Very impressed. Matrix level training right now. Thank you so much. Where can we find the replay for this workshop? So much to take in, Lol. I'm gonna add it to I'm gonna leave it up in the community right away, and then I'm gonna get it to Ben to get it edited in chapters, and then I'm gonna pop it in a classroom, and I'm gonna add the skills and everything as well in there, neatly organized. Okay. Question: is it a smart strategy to start a free school? Yes. Yes. If it's for a client, how would I go about it? If I manage their school, circle, community, and building their Go High level, do I record myself working? That's such a good question. I think what my team also has a Loom and they can contribute a lot of value. So yes, I would record myself working those things that are relevant for the members of that community, but maybe also the things that are relevant for yourself. So just say, oh, I'm noticing this is interesting because this is helping like a lot of members. Like on another note, I'm setting this up because when you're later on processing it with AI, you'll be able to discern, okay, now take from all of my context just information that is relevant for other clients that want to hire me for school services. So just elaborate all out, and then as you're processing it with AI, you'll be able to tap into those pieces by just guiding it towards tailoring the message to the right audience. I appreciate the feedback and advice. I need to push people for my YouTube and Instagram account to school. I struggle as a creator knowing that I have a solution to offer to so many people. Yeah, 100%. And one thing to push people from YouTube to your school that I also need to implement, because I've seen the numbers and it's really, really appealing. I actually started to do it a little bit more. I'm going to show you. So we have taken snippets. So okay, proof, da-da-da. Proof, promise, path. Now you see, this is what I wanted to show you. This video is part of my course. which you can get in the community, right? So you basically have an ad for your community inside of your YouTube. That's what we see works absolutely best. And then for Instagram, what works best is the artifacts. So this is something that I really love doing. So I have my video and I ask people to comment, right? And then there's a ManyChat integration. And very often I will not send them directly to the school, but I will send them to an artifact that then also links to my school. So they will get, for example, this free prompt library. It's for one of my more popular ones. And then they say, oh, get this for free inside of Grow with Evelyn. Or my most popular video right now is this one for videos to master meta ads. We're sending them to an unlisted playlist on my YouTube channel, which of course then gets people onto my YouTube channel. Okay, I think now my son just came home. Thank you so much. We nailed it time-wise. I appreciate you. I'm going to make sure to leave this up in the community, and we're going to cut it so it's a little bit more digestible. And then I'm going to break out a roadmap from it, and I'm going to make sure we can knock off these steps one after another. Thank you so much for having been on with me. I appreciate you, and I see you very soon. Bye for now.